Hello and welcome. A quick and important note before we begin. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. This story contains sensitive topics, including but not limited to mental health struggles, self-harm, and suicide, as well as distressing events and possible flashes of light. Mental health is crucial, and if you or someone you know is struggling, please reach out to a support hotline in your area. Remember, you are not alone, and help is always available. I, F, 22, have always been the type to avoid confrontation. Soft-spoken, shy, and introverted, I find it difficult to voice out my thoughts in the moment. People tell me I should stand up for myself, but when the time comes, my body freezes, my voice locks up, and I just let things happen. I hate myself for it. Every day, I try to push myself just a little to be stronger, to be braver, but it never seems to be enough. Today was supposed to be different. I had been standing in line for at least 30 minutes at this famous food stall, stomach growling, feet aching. The smell of sizzling meat and fresh spices filled the air, taunting me, but I was patient. I had been waiting fairly. Then, as if on cue, an entitled stranger, M, late 40s, casually walked right past me and took a spot in front of me. My heart dropped. I wanted to say something. My lips parted, but my voice was trapped in my throat. I felt the familiar sting of helplessness. I told myself it's okay, just this once. Maybe he was in a rush. Maybe he didn't see me. But then, not even 5 minutes later, another person did the same thing. This time, a woman, F, 30s, strutted right past me, barely acknowledging my existence. Was I invisible? I clenched my fists. My nails dug into my palms. My heart pounded in my ears. It wasn't fair. It was not fair. I kept waiting. Maybe someone behind me would speak up. Maybe someone would say something, but no one did. And just as I was about to lose all hope, a third person, M, 20s, tried to cut right in front of me. I had enough. For the first time, I actually opened my mouth. "Excuse me, please don't cut the queue." My voice was soft, but I said it. I said it. My heart was beating so fast, I thought I might pass out. He turned to me, looked me up and down, and instead of apologizing, he scoffed. "What's your problem?" His voice was loud, aggressive. Then, he cussed me out, in public, in front of everyone. I felt everyone's eyes on me. Some were watching like it was free entertainment. Others just pretended not to notice. My face burned. I didn't know what to say. I wanted to scream. I wanted to defend myself, but the words wouldn't come. He ignored me and stayed in front, ordering his food like nothing happened. And that's not even the worst part. The woman behind me tapped my shoulder, and I thought, finally, someone was going to support me. But instead, she glared at me and said, "Why did you let him cut in front of you?" My stomach dropped. I just stared at her, completely at a loss for words. What was I supposed to say? I tried to stop him. I actually spoke up, and it didn't even matter. The humiliation, the frustration, the pure, overwhelming anger and sadness hit me like a tidal wave. And then, before I knew it, I felt tears rolling down my cheeks. That's when I ran. I didn't think. I just turned around and ran. I ran past the food stall, past the crowded streets, past everything. My tiny feet carried me mindlessly through the city until, somehow, I found myself in front of my tiny apartment. I collapsed on my doorstep, my chest heaving. My head was spinning. I couldn't even register what had just happened. All I knew was that I felt empty, lost. I didn't go to work. I turned off my phone. I didn't eat. I just lay there, replaying everything over and over again, questioning everything. Why are people like this? Why do people feel so entitled? Why can't people just be kind to each other? Why am I like this? I wanted to be stronger. I wanted to fight back. But at the end of the day, I was still that same person, standing frozen, unable to do anything, and now I don't know what to do. I must have drifted off at some point, because when I woke up, it was already evening. The hunger pangs in my stomach reminded me that I hadn't eaten all day, but I couldn't bring myself to get up. My mind kept replaying everything, every single detail of what happened. The man's sneer, the woman's accusatory glare, the weight of my own powerlessness. I wanted to forget. I wanted to move on. But how could I, when I felt like I had failed myself? I pulled my blanket over my head, trying to drown out the world. But then, a thought crept in. What if this happened again? What if, next time, I stayed frozen? What if I never found the courage to stand up for myself? No, I refused to let this define me. I forced myself to sit up. My hands were still shaking. My body felt weak, but I reached for my phone. Maybe I needed to talk to someone. Maybe I needed to vent. But who would understand? Who would get it? That's when I opened a blank document and started typing. I poured everything into it. Every emotion, every frustration, every moment of helplessness. My fingers flew across the screen, the words tumbling out faster than I could think. And for the first time, I didn't hesitate. I didn't hold back. I wrote everything. And as I did, something inside me shifted. Maybe I wasn't strong yet. Maybe I still had a long way to go. But this was a start. And maybe, just maybe, someone out there would read my words and understand. Maybe someone would say, "You're not alone." The next morning, I woke up to a notification. My post had been shared and comments were pouring in. People telling their own stories, people saying they understood, strangers offering words of encouragement. For the first time in a long while, I didn't feel so alone. I stepped outside, breathing in the crisp morning air. The world kept moving, but so would I. Next time, I promised myself I wouldn't run. Next time, I'd speak louder. I'd stand taller. I wasn't there yet, but I was trying. And for now, that was enough. But deep down, I knew one thing. I wasn't just writing to vent. I was writing to remind myself that I had a choice. A choice to let people walk over me, or a choice to take up space and demand to be seen. So, I made a decision. Next time someone tried to cut in front of me, I wouldn't just speak up. I would make sure I was heard, because I deserve to be heard. And that is how I'll change. I never expected my story to blow up the way it did. When I posted about my experience with line cutters and my struggles with confrontation, I thought maybe a handful of people would read it, maybe even relate to it. But instead, it spread like wildfire. Comments flooded in, some supportive, some sharing similar experiences, and some downright cruel. At first, I felt empowered. People understood me. I wasn't alone. For the first time, I felt seen. I started pushing myself more, little by little. I greeted people first at work, struck up small talk at the shops, even held my ground when someone tried to cut me off at the grocery store checkout. Each small victory felt like a step forward, a turning point in my life. But then, the messages started. At first, it was just one anonymous text, a random number calling me an attention seeker, a pathetic loser, a bag who thinks she's special for standing in a line. I brushed it off. Haters exist everywhere, right? I ignored it, didn't respond, and moved on. But the next day, another message came in, and then another. "We saw your little sob story. You think you're some kind of victim? You're a joke. People like you should just stay silent. No one cares about your stupid social anxiety. Just shut up." Every day, more texts, different numbers, same cruel words. I blocked them, but new ones popped up. It was like someone was determined to make me suffer, but I told myself it would pass. It was just a phase, a small bump in the road, until a month later. That's when things took a dark turn. I woke up one weekend morning to find my inbox flooded. DMs, emails, anonymous texts, dozens of them. And this time, they weren't just insults. They knew my name. They knew where I lived. They knew where I worked. They knew my parents' address, my old school, my college, even my social security number. And then they sent pictures of me. Nothing explicit, but enough to make my stomach drop. Photos of me walking home, sitting at a cafe, inside my workplace. Someone had been watching me. And then the final message came in. We know what you did. You should just end it now. My heart pounded. What did they mean? What did I do? I racked my brain, trying to think of anyone I had wronged, but I had no close friends, barely any acquaintances. Who hated me this much? I tried reaching out to old classmates, colleagues, even online support groups, but all I got was, ignore them. They're just trolls. Don't let them win. You're stronger than this. They didn't get it. They weren't the ones being watched, followed, threatened. I wanted to tell my parents, but they were across the country, dealing with their own struggles. I didn't want to burden them, so I did what I thought was the right thing. I decided to go to the police. But as I was heading out the door, a new message came in. I wouldn't do that if I were you. Attached was a manipulated image of me, my face edited onto something horrible, something that could ruin my life. Report us, and we release everything. My hands trembled. My legs felt weak. I turned around and locked my apartment door. I was being watched. Someone knew I was about to leave. Panic set in. My breathing became shallow, my chest tight. I couldn't think, couldn't move. The walls felt like they were closing in. My vision blurred. The sound around me faded. I collapsed. I don't know how long I was out, but when I woke up, there was a sharp pain in my head. I touched my scalp and felt something sticky. Blood. A small pool of dried blood had formed on the floor. My phone was buzzing. More messages. Are you dead yet? I let out a choked sob. The tears came, but they weren't enough. My body was too exhausted to cry properly. More notifications. My boss. My workplace. I had missed an entire day of work. Dozens of missed calls. My boss, who had always been kind, always understanding, sent a final message. I'm coming to check on you. Guilt crashed into me. I was a burden, a disappointment. I had already caused enough trouble. With shaking fingers, I texted back, I'm fine. No need to come. I'm sorry for everything. I quit. Almost immediately, a call came in. I rejected it. Then a text. Are you sure? If you need someone to talk to, I'm here. I won't push, but I'm here. I couldn't respond. I couldn't. I was too broken, too lost. And then another text from them. More threats, more accusations, more cruel words. I screamed and threw my phone. The screen cracked as it hit the wall. My eyes darted to the kitchen. Maybe they were right. Maybe I deserved this. Maybe I had done something terrible without even realizing it. Maybe I was just a waste of space. My feet moved before my brain could stop them. I felt nothing, just empty. And then, flashbacks. My parents. My mom holding my hand as I rode my bike for the first time. My dad laughing as we built a sandcastle at the beach. The way they cried when I graduated. The way they looked so proud. They had already lost a child. My sister. My hands trembled. Tears poured from my eyes. I fell to my knees. I couldn't do this to them. I couldn't. I sobbed until there was nothing left, until my body was too weak to move. And then, finally, I fell asleep. I don't know how long I've been in this bed. The days blur together, a loop of nothingness. The walls close in, the air thick with stillness. I haven't stepped outside in what feels like an eternity. I barely eat, just a few stale biscuits or dry snacks, forcing myself to chew and swallow, not out of hunger, but out of the faint knowledge that I have to. I sip water in small amounts, just enough to keep me from completely shutting down. My room is a disaster, strewn with discarded clothes, empty wrappers, and dust settling in corners. but I don't care. The curtains are drawn, the light barely filters through the cracks, and I just lay there. No contact, no social life, just me, trapped in the darkness, both outside and inside. I don't have the strength to move. It's like I'm sinking into quicksand. The more I try to struggle, the deeper I sink. So I stop. I stop fighting. I just wait. But for what? To be saved? To disappear? I don't know. I feel nothing. No sadness, no anger, no fear. Just a void. A numbness so heavy it crushes my chest. The only thing that lingers are the faces of my family, floating in my mind like ghosts. My mother, her warm hands stroking my hair. My father's raspy voice, always so firm, always so sure. My big sister, who I hurt so many times, but who never turned her back on me. I miss them. I miss them so much it feels like my heart is ripping apart inside me. I want to see them again, just once. I want to bury myself in my mother's lap, let her hold me, tell me I'm strong, that I'll be okay. I want to hear my dad grumble about my mom's nagging, my sister's laughter breaking through the tension, making everything feel light again. But they're not here, and I don't know if I'll ever see them again. My lips are dry, chapped, and the taste of iron lingers in my mouth. How many days have passed? I sleep, I wake, I stare at the ceiling, I drift away again. Time no longer feels real. The weight on my chest grows heavier. My thoughts are slipping, fading into the darkness. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Then, a voice, soft at first, then clearer. A familiar sound cutting through the fog. Mom? I squeeze my eyes shut. It's a trick, a hallucination, my mind playing cruel games with me. Then I hear another voice. My father, his deep, rough voice, the one I used to hear every morning when he called out for breakfast, complaining about his coffee being too bitter. But this time, he sounds panicked. What is happening? And then, a loud bang. Light explodes into the room, burning through my closed eyelids. My body flinches at the sudden brightness, at the shock of something so real, breaking into this empty, dead space I've been trapped in. My mother screams, sobbing, desperate. My baby, oh God, please no. And then, warmth, a familiar scent wrapping around me, arms pulling me in, squeezing me so tight I can barely breathe. I know this embrace. I know this warmth. Mom, she's rocking me, her hands running over my hair, down my back, her voice shaking as she whispers, "What happened? What happened to you?" I try to answer, but no sound comes out. My throat is raw, dry, useless. My body is weak, completely drained. I try to open my eyes, but they refuse. Everything is too much. Then I feel a rough hand brush over my forehead. My dad, his usual calloused fingers, the ones that used to ruffle my hair when I was a kid. But he's gentle now, too gentle. "It's okay, sweetheart," he murmurs, his voice breaking. Who is the third voice? I hear them speaking, someone else in the room, talking to my parents. But I can't focus. Their words are muffled, distant. I want to know what they're saying, but I can't think. I can't move. Their voices start fading, growing further and further away. No, please, don't go. I try to speak, try to move, try to reach out, but my body refuses to listen. My lips won't part, my hands won't lift. I'm stuck, trapped, helpless. Please, Mom, Dad, don't leave me. I swear I'll be good. I won't throw tantrums anymore. I won't get jealous. I won't get mad when you spend time with Big Sister. Please, please, don't leave me. I don't want to be alone anymore. I didn't mean to hurt her. It was an accident. I swear. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please, forgive me. No response. I beg, over and over. I swear I won't steal Dad's money again. I won't take Big Sis's chocolate muffins anymore. I won't be a naughty child. I'll be better. Just please, stay with me. I want to go back. I want to stay with Mom and Dad. I promise I'll visit Big Sis all the time. I'll do whatever I'm told. No questions, no complaints. I'll keep quiet. I'll be good. Just please, let me stay with you. Please. But nothing. No one answers. It's like I'm trapped inside a glass cube, sealed away from the world. I scream, I beg, but my voice hits the walls and bounces back at me, unheard, unanswered. No one listens. No one responds. My words are just empty echoes, fading into the void. Outside the cube, the darkness slithers closer, pressing in from all sides, crawling up the glass like ink spreading through water. It wants to consume me, to pull me under, to erase me, and I'm powerless to stop it. My body grows heavier. My thoughts blur. My limbs are cold. I'm getting so tired, so drained. I just want to take a little nap, just a little one. Maybe when I wake up, everything will be okay. Maybe this is all a bad dream. The world is dimming around me. The air grows heavy, pressing against my chest, making it harder to breathe. I feel like a candle with only the faintest ember left, flickering, struggling, fighting against the inevitable. But the flame is weak. It wavers. It is dying. The void is closing in. The darkness swallows me. It moves slowly at first, creeping around me like an ink-black tide, curling at the edges of my vision. But then, it lunges, wrapping around my limbs, pulling me into its depths, suffocating, consuming. It's inside me now, filling my lungs, slithering into my veins, pressing against my chest until I can't tell where I end and it begins. I thrash. I reach for something, anything. But there is nothing. No warmth, no voices, no light, only the abyss. I'm scared, scared of where this darkness is taking me, scared of what's beyond it, scared of the unknown, scared that I won't see my family again. What if this is it? What if this is where I stay forever, trapped in this endless, crushing emptiness? No more mom, no more dad, no more home. And my sister, what if I see her again? What if she's there, waiting beyond this darkness? What if she hates me? What if she looks at me with nothing but anger, nothing but resentment? What if she turns away, refusing to hear me out, refusing to forgive me, even though I never meant to hurt her? I don't want that. I don't want to lose them. I don't want to be alone. A jolt, a force, something, someone pulling me back, lifting me from the bed. I'm floating. No, I'm being carried. I hear voices, urgent voices, familiar voices, but they're distorted, like echoes through water. The words slip through my grasp as my mind drifts, my consciousness barely holding on, like a boat tossed in a storm, teetering on the edge of sinking. Then, just blackness. The void refuses to let me go. It clings to me, wrapping around me like a second skin, dragging me deeper, deeper, deeper. I fight, but it is endless. It is relentless. It is stronger than me. The weight of it crushes me. It seeps into my bones, into my very existence. I am fading. I am disappearing. I am consumed. Cold. So cold. I don't want this. I don't like this. I hate it. Hate it so much. I want the warmth again, the embrace, the voices calling my name, the smell of home, the feeling of belonging. I just want to be home. A tear slides down my cheek, the only movement I can manage. Please, I whisper into the void. Then, silence. Nothing. Void. Thank you for watching. Did you enjoy the ride? But wait, the story's not over yet. Want to know what happens next? Let me know in the comments if you're ready for the sequel. If this story left you wanting more, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Until then, take care and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.